out.
The UK government is refusing to release official research on the characteristics of grooming gangs, claiming it's not in the public interest. Victims, though, accuse the authorities of inaction and making empty promises. We spoke to one survivor, now an adult, who was sexually abused at the age of 16.
I met my main perpetrator when I was 14. He was 24 years old and he was known to all organisations for being a very dangerous person. I was abused mentally, physically and sexually, and also groomed into committing crimes as well. And that's another part of exploitation that many victims like myself have been subjected to. And I went to the police when I was 16 and nothing happened, unfortunately. But again, I went to the police when I think I was about 27 years old, and I didn't feel too supported again. So I contacted a journalist from a newspaper and I told him everything that had happened, and I gave him lots of different pieces of evidence to prove what had happened, and he published my story in August 2013. And it was actually because of that of why the criminal investigation into the rapist started.
Some 19,000 suspected victims of child sexual exploitation were reportedly identified by local authorities in 2018 to 19. Now, that's a huge increase on 5 years earlier. The UK government has vowed to take action. The so-called grooming gangs investigation was announced by the former Home Secretary in 2018. He pledged that he would not let cultural or political sensitivities get in the way of fixing the problem. But victims say the decision not to publish the probe's findings leaves them with many unanswered questions.
I think it's a disgusting decision. It is definitely in the public's interest. You have thousands of children that have been abused, raped, exploited, and into crime as well as sexual acts. And we want to know why this has happened, why it's still happening, and why these people have been allowed to get away with it. There's clearly something in that report that the government don't want us to know about. Because if they didn't want, if there was no issue, they'd just release it. So the fact that they're making excuses, and I think it's quite a weak excuse as well to say it's not in our interest. So the fact that now our government is saying, well, actually, we're not even going to release these findings, I think is a real blow to us as victims.
We've requested comment from the UK Home Office, which has yet to reply, but we did get reaction from activist Toni from Mothers Against Radical Islam in Sharia. She says the decision will undermine trust in politicians.
This report was promised to victims, and again, they failed them. I just think that they're making excuses, and that all they've done is they have gone back on the word that they gave to victims of these crimes. It's a combination of political correctness. I think it's cultural sensitivities. I think it's fear of what they believe will stoke racism. People in this country don't trust politicians anymore. Without being able to see what's going on, we don't know if we're being lied to again. And that has to stop. And the political correctness of having we fear a backlash. Well, do you know what? We fear girls being raped.